natural harmonics, nothing crazy. This is another way to play a note. I think people don't learn them practically, and we're left to watch people who do use them and have used them for an entire lifetime and try to figure out what they do. So let's just kind of jump in here. Most people know the 12th fret harmonic. Easiest way to incorporate harmonics if you're playing is to start here. Same note as fretting that same fret. The 12th fret of A sounds like this. 12th fret harmonic sounds like this. And I could. And then that'll give me an opportunity to switch positions or something. So there's a lot you can do with just that if you haven't gotten used to adding these to your playing yet. The next one will be the 7th fret. So similar to the 12th fret, the 7th fret harmonic is the same as the note that you would be fretting on that string, except it's an octave higher. So on the D string, that 7th fret is this A, the 5th of D. So the octave up from that would be here. So that is the note that is played with the harmonic, an octave higher than the note that you would be fretting. As we move away from the 12th fret and down the fretboard, it's going to get higher and higher, and things get really clustered up in here. So the next few are going to be very, very close. But the 5th fret is an octave up from the 12th fret. So you've got the open string, 12th fret, the 5th from that, and now we have, that's 2001, right? Or it's your 5th chord. It's this, but an octave higher. You got that on every string. So on A, and I'm going to stick to A now because it's going to maybe be a little bit easier to hear. Now the next one is going to be on the 4th fret. And again, that's the same as the fret that you would be playing if you're on the 4th fret, except now it's 2 octaves higher. 1 octave, 2 octaves. The same note. Now, I also want to note, you'll note that the harmonics, as we move away from the 12th fret, they're just a little bit more out of tune the farther you get down. I think that's part of their charm. Not only do you get these really cool overtones, but sometimes you get kind of a chorusy effect as a result of the tuning of them. So we've got 12, that's the root. Now another place you can play the exact same note, it's less intuitive, is the 9th fret harmonic. 9th, with the same sound, same note. I think they have a little bit of a different timbre for each one, but you can use just those, and you've got it's an A major chord. Move that up 12 frets. So you've got like the major triad, 12, 9, 7, 5, and 4 for every open string. I'm playing in B. And now we can keep moving up. I'm going to stay on A. The next ones are a little bit harder to get. I would call that, I think that one's at pi. It's at like 3.1. It's never right over the 3rd fret for me. And that is the next. That's the same as the 7th fret, but an octave higher. That's the 5th of the open chord. Then it gets really crowded here. I think this one's about 2.6. And that's the same as the 10th fret, but 2 octaves higher. And if you can find it, it's usually around 2.1. That's another octave higher from the open string. So we can do oh, didn't quite get that last note, but they're all there. You spend some time with them, try to figure it out. That's the same as an A7 chord. So on the A string. So on the G string, if I do the same thing, that's a G7 chord. It's 2 octaves higher. So yeah, that's one of the easiest ways to kind of get into it. Is just start thinking about that map, start translating that in your brain. That can be really helpful. A couple other things that I think are super important is, you've got all these open chords with your open strings, which now you can play them, their fifth, and even their like major third, or as a chord, as a fifth chord at the very least. So we'll start with the simplest ones. G, B, and D. That's a G major chord. Play G major. Those are the open strings in it. That means we can play G major on the 12th fret and the 5th fret of those three strings together. D major is the 5th of G major. So that's right there as well. So our minor chord, we all know this Metallica famous. Right? That's E minor, those open three strings. You take those three strings, there's another E minor, there's another E minor, and the 5th of E minor would be B minor. So those are all there. We also even have like A5, if we need it. We have a lower A5 and another A5 here. So we can put all those together, and let's see if I have, let me talk about one more technique, I guess, which is just really simply, I guess I did two other ones. Just tapping 12 frets higher than the note that you're playing. You can get some really cool tones out of that. It's very percussive. The other thing I did, which I don't do too often, was I pulled off in the intro to I just pulled off to one. I don't do that too often, but sometimes I do. And they just kind of like, as you pull off the string, you would be pulling off to an open string, but you just very lightly place your finger on your, I would call it your picking hand, but I don't use a pick most of the time. So it might be a little bit more natural for me since I don't use a pick, but I imagine if you did, you'd be able to do that with your middle finger, both of those. But yeah, if you're going to play chords, I've got G major, E minor, and A5, and even B minor. We could do something with those chords, let's see, like. So you can always find new ways to play stuff with natural harmonics. It's not it's not that hard to do. It just takes a little bit of understanding and practice. Think about the map that we kind of built earlier in terms of where those notes are, but go with your gut.